going on here? Okay, let's try it now. Okay, well, good morning. In some places, good afternoon. We're going to try it again. That we know that God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we can even begin to understand. Listen, this morning at 8 at 8, we just want to encourage somebody to let you know that things don't look and may not be as bad as they seem. We know that there are some things that can look like something and they may not be. Why am I saying that this morning? Well, I hear Paul saying in Philippians, the 4th chapter and the 13th verse says that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And I'm standing on the word of God this morning that there are some times in our lives that what we need is I know we have friends and I know we have help that may come from other places, but there are times that we need the strength of God. And Paul said that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We need to know this morning that it's not by might, not by will, not by influence, not by hookup, but it's only by the word of God and the will of God that where we are, and by the power of God that keeps us and sustains us. But we know that when we're in the will of God, we're not in the way of God. And when we're not in the way of God, we know that God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we can even begin to understand. Why do I say that? Because sometimes we don't understand things that are going on in our lives. We don't understand everything that we're going through, but the thing that we do need to understand that we serve an awesome God. He's still Alpha, he's still Omega, he's still the omnipotent God, all knowing. And like the word says, the reason why we don't have a lot of things is because we don't ask. Well, what I've learned in this season that when I go to God, I be very specific. When I need strength to overcome. When I need favor to endure the things that I have to deal with. I know I may not have the ability to change some things, but the word of God teaches me that I have the power of life and death in my tongue, and I can change some things by just going to him in prayer. And like the word says, making my supplications known unto him. And that's what I do. When I pray unto God and I ask God, A, for direction, B, for understanding, C, to strengthen me where I'm weak, D, to build me up where I've been torn down, E, to keep me where the enemy can't overcome me, F, that I don't fail, G, that I keep going, H, that I go to a higher calling because what he put in my life, A, that I'm independently known by God. Why? Because I make my supplication known unto him. Oh yeah, I could keep going all morning long, but I want you to know, be encouraged. That's what David said. David said when he found himself needing to be encouraged, a lot of times there was nobody around him. He was by himself. So David said when he was by himself, for himself, he had to pull up his own bootstraps and get in the fight. And that's what we have to do sometime. Be encouraged this morning and know that God has not left you. You're not alone. I know it seems like because this pandemic has us social distancing, has people don't even want to shake hands no more, don't even want to give a holy hug anymore. Everybody want a fist bump or do the elbow thing. Why? Because we're afraid of catching a disease. We're afraid. But let me tell you something. When you're covered by the blood, I hear you. The word of God says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. You got to know that you're in the will of God and that you're not in the way of God. And because you're in the will of God, God will do just what he said. He's a God that cannot lie. He's a God that will not fail. So when we trust God, we believe God, and we hold on to what God is saying and what God is doing, God will make a way. He's a way making God. He'll give you strength in the time of weakness. He'll be a shelter in the time of storm. He'll be courage in the time of weakness, because we have to learn how to lean and depend on him. And when we lean and depend on him, I tell you, my brother, my sister, nothing will go wrong. That's why the word teaches us, lean not to thine own understanding, but know that God will do just what he said. God will not leave you, nor will he forsake you. So be what Paul said this morning to the Philippian church when they were going through. Oh yeah, a lot of times we go through, a lot of times we feel left out, we feel left alone, we feel like that we don't have anybody to talk to when loved ones are no longer there and friends can't be counted on. But I hear Paul saying in the background, I can do it. I can do it. And let me tell you why I can do it, because the God in me. Let me tell you something, people of God. God won't bring you to it and not take you through it. God won't bring you to a place and just leave you. If God brought you to it, he's going to take you through it. And let me throw something else in there for free. If you brought yourself to it and you got yourself in a situation where you can't seem to get out of, God won't leave you. He won't forsake you. So this morning, be encouraged, be strengthened, and know that God is there. He's with you all the time. I hear the songwriter saying he was there all the time, waiting patiently in line. He was there. He's been there, and he's still right there. That's why we have to hold on. I'm going to say it again. We got to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he is the God that changes not. Let me tell you, we change on God. He doesn't change on us. Let me throw this in, because a lot of us have forgotten. We left God. He never left us. He never left us. He loved us so. He loved us so much that we've been in his mindset so much that the word says that he gave his only begotten son that we might have a right to the tree of life. What that means is, because Jesus died for us and rose again on the third day morning, we have the ability, we have the amenity to call on God, and God will answer our call. Yeah, you call on him, whatever it is, be it sickness, be it favor, be it health, be it wealth, be in death of a loved one. You call on him and he's right there. He's right there. Why? Because he wants to show you his power. He wants to show up and show out in your situation. But you got to trust him. You got to trust him. You got to trust him. Because when you trust in the Lord, and lean not to your own understanding, God will do amazing things in your life. God will take you to heights unknown. God will take you beyond the ability that you think you don't have. But just know God is able to do it. He'll do just what he said. But we got to trust it. Listen, it's been the 8 at 8. I know I came a little early this morning, but God will do it just like he said he'd do it. So remember Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Be blessed.